Ultimate Catastrophe: How MtGox Lost $500 million and Nearly Killed Bitcoin, by Mark Hunter. Read by the author. Copyright Mark Hunter 2023. Recording copyright Mark Hunter 2025. Also by the author. Fake Toshi: Fraud, Lies, and the Battle for Bitcoin's Soul. The book bears a dedication. For the Creditors. Introduction. It doesn't matter if you use the strongest bank vault in the world if you leave the keys out. Kim Nielsen, MtGox investigator. The collapse of the Bitcoin exchange MtGox in February 2014 made headlines all around the world. The implosion of the poster child for the new financial frontier of Bitcoin was the culmination of years' worth of hacks, mistakes, bad decisions, and fraud, all of which saw over 880,000 Bitcoins and $61.5 million in cash reserves either stolen, given away, or lost by MtGox in just 3 years. At the time of its demise, this loss was valued at around $500 million. Today, the value of that loss exceeds $80 billion. While the outside world was shocked that MtGox had lost so much money, those who had witnessed its slow death over the preceding months were less surprised. There had been rumblings that something was wrong at MtGox for almost a year before it went under, rumblings that had turned into warnings of a full-scale avalanche. The problem for those with funds on the exchange, however, was that they were stuck in the avalanche's path with no way out. Less than 3% of MtGox's million-plus customers made a claim when MtGox entered bankruptcy proceedings, and yet the total valuation attributed to these claims still reached $414 million. This group of 24,750 creditors had to endure a decade-long wait for payouts that at times seemed destined never to arrive, watching on as the value of Bitcoin rose more than 5,000% in the intervening years. Eventually, in early July 2024, these long-suffering customers began to be reunited with their holdings, although they had already steeled themselves to the fact that they could expect only a fraction back. The story of exactly how MtGox lost $500 million of its customers' money has been revealed in stages in the years since it collapsed, with the full story never yet told. A combination of debilitating hacks, poor coding, bad business decisions, rank amateurism, and the actions of underhand US officials caused MtGox to experience death by 1,000 cuts until it finally expired on 28th of February 2014. It wasn't until 2017 that the world finally found out how MtGox had been brought to its knees, and it took until 2023 for anyone behind the multiple hacks to be named. The search for truth has gone on as long as a creditor's search for recompense, and it is still going on. One man has been at the centre of the MtGox storm ever since the first Bitcoin was swiped from the exchange in March 2011. Mark Karpelès. The Frenchman, CEO of the company from early 2011 until he stepped down in March 2014 in the wake of the implosion, was immediately cast as the villain. Some blamed the huge losses on his incompetent management, while others believed he was responsible for a record-breaking theft. While his customers have engaged in a decade-long battle to get their bitcoins back, Karpelès has fought to clear his name. Many are unwilling, despite the passage of time, to accept his version of events, that he had no idea of the scale of the loss and that his only crime was running the company badly. Karpelès has not kept quiet about his time running MtGox and has admitted some of his failings. As we will see, however, there are some crucial secrets that remain untold to this day. The collapse of MtGox was the event that brought the exciting new world of Bitcoin, with its promise of a self-stored currency free from interference by banks and governments, back down to earth with a crash. It was the pin that burst the balloon, a balloon that has inflated and burst again repeatedly in the years since, but never to the same extent or with the same ideological fervour. The rise and fall of MtGox isn't a story about Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies. It's a story about how the combination of criminal opportunism and stunning incompetence led to a multi-year theft that may one day be valued in the hundreds of billions of dollars. It's a cautionary tale about the dangers of covering up the truth and of what happens when these cover-ups are stretched to breaking point. It's a story of what happens when you feel the water lapping at your neck and go off to design a cafe instead. Mark Hunter, Harrogate, 2023.